Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare.
Jai Om Vishnupad Puramansu Pariprajaka Ashtotra Satashi Shrimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai Nama Acharya Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai Prem Sakaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gopinath Sham Kun Radha Kun Giri Govardhan Ki Jai Vrindavan Tham Ki Jai Navdeep Tham Ki Jai Jagannath Puri Ki Jai Ganga Mai Ki Jai Jamuna Mai Ki Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai Bhakti Devi Ki Jai Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to the assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
Gaur Premanande.
Hari Hari Bo. Thank you very much, Maharaj. Thank you for joining us this evening. And thank you, Ekendra Prabhu, for the celestial, melodious chanting of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. It was quite transcendental and very, very refreshing to the soul. So welcome all the devotees who have joined us this evening for yet another lecture in the lecture series of the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam with His Holiness Jayadvaita Swami Maharaj, broadcasting live from ISKCON of New Jersey in Towaco. So as always, we'll be having a question answer interactive session as we move through the text. So feel free to post your questions or comments on the chat box, or you can raise your hand, or you can we can unmute you, or you can unmute yourself. We can make it interactive. And if your name on display here is a number or something that's not quite descriptive, you feel free to change it so that we can identify you more easily and make it more personal. Thank you once again. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutade Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swaminiti Namini Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharane Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarane Vanchakolpatarubhyascha Kapasindho Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Obeisances to Purushartha Prabhu and any other God brothers and God sisters who may be here, and my respects to all. Srila Sukadeva Goswami has begun responding to Parikshit Maharaj's questions. He's said that he's placed emphasis on the chanting of the holy name, on hearing the name, form, qualities, pastimes of Krishna, on remembering the Lord. And he's emphasized that everything culminates, all one's cultivation of gyan, of karma, of yoga, finally should culminate in devotional service. And the perfection is ante narayana smriti, to remember the personality of Godhead at the end, at the time of death. That was Parikshit Maharaj's question, what should one hear about, chant about, and remember, particularly if one is on the verge of death? And Sukadeva Goswami has directly answered. Now he says, Prayena Muniyo Rajan Nivritta Vidhi Shedataha Nargunya Sta Ramante Sma Gunanu Katane Hare. O King Parikshit, mainly the topmost transcendentalists who are above the regulative principles and restrictions take pleasure in describing the glories of the Lord. Prayena Muniya Rajan, O king, those who are Nirgunyastha, situated above the three modes of material nature, Ramante Guna Anukatane Hare, they take pleasure, Ramante, in describing the glories of Krishna. Guna Anukatane. Anukata, Krishna Kata received through the transcendental line. Such liberated souls take a pleasure in the Bhagavad Gita also. Machchita madgata prana bodhiyanta parasparam. Katayantaschamam nityam tushanti cha ramanti cha. This is the pleasure of the fortunate souls, those who are under the shelter of Krishna and his internal energy, always to think of Krishna, to make Krishna the goal of their life, and to enjoy tushanti cha ramanti cha, to get satisfaction and transcendental pleasure from speaking about Krishna, hearing about Krishna, katayantascha mam nitya, from constant Krishna kata. Here, Muniya, let's see, move up a little bit. Nivritta vidhi shedata. The rules and regulations, the regulative principles, are especially meant for those who are on the path of transcendence. Those who are materialists may not follow anything, but the munis who are nivritta vidhi shedataha are above the transcendental, above the rules and regulations. There are those who are below the rules and regulations, they don't follow them. And then there are those who are above the rules and regulations, they don't need them. They may still follow, just to set an example for others, or out of their natural inclination to live in the mode of goodness or in a transcendental fashion. But they're not practicing. They're perfect. So such perfect persons, prayena, mostly take pleasure in Krishna Katha. Srila Jiva Goswami comments that means that there are some who don't. The Mayavadis, who may also be counted among those who are perfect, have not yet reached that stage of being absorbed in thinking of Krishna. They're more attracted to the impersonal feature of the Lord. And we'll hear more about that from Shukadeva Goswami's own practical experience as we go along. There's some very interesting points in Srila Prabhupada's purport, actually. The Prabhupada points out that Srimad Bhagavatam or any other scientific literature can't just be studied at home by one's own intellectual capacity. You can't just read a medical book and become a surgeon. One has to be admitted to the medical college and study under the guidance of learned professors. Similarly, the Bhagavatam has to be learned at the feet of a realized soul like Srila Vyasadeva. Sukadev Goswami was liberated from the very birth of his day of his birth. Still, he had to take lessons of Srimad Bhagavatam from his great father Vyasadeva. Lord Chaitanya instructed Bhagavata Paradiya Bhagavatastani, or Vaishnavarastani. One should hear the book Bhagavatam from the person Bhagavatam. And then there's a point here. Let's see if it's right here. Yeah, I'm actually ahead of myself. I'm in the next verse, actually. But let's see if there's something else here in this one. No, I won't go into any particular points here. Any questions or comments so far? Even though I've gotten ahead of myself. Okay. Yes, someone's.
This is Gurdas.
So it is.
So, Nirvisesha Sunyavadi, Prabhupada, among his strongest preaching, was against. Would the sages that we're speaking of, that have achieved perfection but are in the Mayavad school, would that apply to the kind of spiritualist that he was most against?
Yes. In the Bhagavad Gita, Manusyanam Sahasreshu Kaschit Yati Siddhaye. Out of many persons, someone may attain perfection. And yatatam api siddhanam kaschid mam veti tatvata. And of many who've achieved perfection, hardly one knows Krishna in truth. That means there are great sages who've not yet come to the platform of devotional service to Krishna. They're more attracted to the impersonal feature. And if they're preaching the tends toward the impersonal side. So sometimes generally Prabhupada would blast them. Namam duskritana mudha prapadyante naradama. But sometimes also he grants that they're also sages, they're also learned persons, or even they've achieved perfection, although not the highest perfection. Is that okay?
It's hard to conceive of the word perfection as having degrees, but of course, as devotees, we understand that.
That's Bhagavad Gita, yatatam api siddhana. Yeah. Out of many siddhas, question, someone, question mam veti tatvata, someone understands me factually. So these degrees of perfection are enunciated by Krishna himself.
Thank you.
Idam Bhagavatam Nama, now we're coming to the point, Puranam Brahma Sammitam, Adhitavan Dwaparadao, Pitur Dvaipayanadaham. Now we're here. At the end of the Dwapara Yuga, I studied this great supplement of Vedic literature named Srimad Bhagavatam, which is equal to all the Vedas. from my father, Srila Dvaipayana Vyasdev. Dvaipayanad aham, Dwaparado. At the beginning, Ado means at the beginning of Dwapara Yuga, but really it means at the end. And Prabhupada explains the way the top of a tree is the beginning of the tree because it's what you see first from a distance, even though the root is the actual beginning of the tree. So at the end of Dwapara Yuga, the Sukadeva Goswami studied this Srimad Bhagavatam Nama, Puranam Brahma Sangitam, which gives the essential meaning of Vedic knowledge. Adhitavan Pitur Dvaipayanad. I studied this under the tutelage of my father, Srila Vyasdev. And we find, of course, that Sukadeva Goswami was one of these transcendentalists who was nivritta, vidishedataha, above the rules and regulations, and also more attracted toward the impersonal feature initially. But he was attracted to the transcendental activities of the Lord, having heard the subject from Vyasdev. Then we come to this point that one can't just study at home. You can't just pick up the book and learn the medical science. One has to hear this postgraduate study of the science of Godhead, Srimad Bhagavatam, from a bona fide Vaishnava. Bhagavata Paradiya, Bhagavata Stani. Pastimes of the Lord are executed in cooperation with his pure devotees, and consequently historical incidences are mentioned in this great literature because they are related to Krishna. And so Bhagavatana, in relationship to Bhagavan, Bhagavata, Bhagavat Purana, in relationship to Bhagavan, not just Krishna, but Krishna with his form, his qualities, his pastimes, his devotees, his abode, his everything. And Brahma Samhitam, it's the sound representation of the Lord. And the Bhagavatam is the Nigamakopataur Galitam Balam, the natural commentation on the Brahma Sutras and the ripe fruit of Vedic knowledge. Much more could be said, but maybe I'll see if there's some questions so far. Idam Bhagavatanama Puranam. Puranam means this is historical knowledge. Stri Sudra Dvijabandhuna Trai Na Shruti Gochara. To study the Vedas is not possible in this age. Everyone is disqualified. Shanmana Jayate Shudra. But the Puranas are more suitable. In the context of history, we get the essence of Vedic knowledge. Okay. Puranam Brahma Samhitam.
There's a question from
Apurva Prabhu.
Go ahead, Apurva Prabhu.
Or maybe it's Kamalini.
There you go.
Hi, Apurva Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Obeisances.
This question is from last Wednesday, so I don't know if it's all right. It's not
It's perfectly all right.
okay. It's a prashadam question, of course. I often wonder You know how we have the 10 offenses against the holy name, we have offenses against the holy Dham. If there's offenses against Vaishnavas, if there's such a thing as offenses against Prasadam, but you may not know it. But one of the things that I've noticed over the last couple years, I've been traveling to different temples and cooking and testing recipes. And in some of the temples, I see how prasadam is so much dishonored and wasted and just thrown in the dumpster and not properly honored. The cooks, anyway, it's a little bit of a complaint. But I heard once that Prabhupada said that to waste in general, what to speak of prasadam, is sinful. And sinful, would that also be in the category of like breaking the four regular principles? And if you could just say a little bit about this aspect of prasadam, how in the old days we really didn't do that. We had a sacred throw out, and you know, like Jayananda, I'm still in that mood, although I don't do it in front of people. If prasadam falls on the ground, I'll eat it.
Well, thank you for this question. This could be a whole seminar, and you'd really be a good person to give it. But since you asked me, the Krishna Bharadwaya Mai Kari Bari Jiva Jai Shah Prasad Amnadilo Pai. The prasadam is Krishna's mercy, because Krishna is very kind to us. He's given us prasadam. So when we receive a gift from someone, if we disrespect it, how does the person feel? There was some pastime, a garland was given to Indra, and he just put it on the neck of his elephant, and the elephant, being an elephant, just tore it up. So it was a great insult to the garland. I forget who'd given the garland, a sage or something. So it was an offense on the part of Indra. He just negligently put it on the neck of the elephant. So Krishna is very kind. He's given us prasadam. And if we don't respect it, then how does Krishna feel? I've given you this and you're neglecting. So we use that term to honor prasadam, to respect prasadam. It's Krishna prasadam, it's Krishna's mercy. In that sense, it's not different from Krishna. So it should be respected, it should be distributed for the benefit of others. We see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, how he was honoring prasadam in the association of his devotees and appreciating that Krishna himself has tasted this food. It's coming from the Krishna's own lips. So how one will relish and appreciate prasadam with that understanding, how one will respect prasadam. It's not ordinary food, just as the holy name of the Lord is not an ordinary sound, or the Bhagavatam is not an ordinary book. Therefore, sometimes we see the people, they'll have something they want to put somewhere and they put it on top of a Bhagavatam. And I cringe when I see it, wait a second, that's Bhagavatam, that's Krishna. And you're putting your wristwatch or whatever it is on top of it as if it were a table. It's not to be done. So the book is Krishna. And actually in Bhagavat class properly done, the Bhagavatam is first worshipped and then we speak Bhagavatam. So prasadam is to be honored. And yes, we should, Prabhupada did give those instructions that there shouldn't be waste, that there shouldn't be negligence. I did hear one thing that Srila Prabhupada said as an offense to prasadam. In Mayapur, perhaps he arranged for profuse distribution of, of course, profuse distribution of prasadam at that prasadam pavilion on the roadside. in Mayapur. And perhaps some devotees may have seen that there were turnstiles installed there. I talked about this before. And the turnstiles were installed because Prabhupada gave the instruction that people should be given as much prasadam as they want, but they shouldn't be allowed to take anything out.
Mm.
He said, then they will mix it with their fish and it will become aparad. It will become aparad. So there is such a thing as committing, as we have nama aparad, there's prasada aparad also, to neglect, in a larger sense, to neglect anything that Krishna has given us is an offense. And particularly, we give so much importance to Krishna prasadam, it shouldn't be neglected. And this is culture. You're really speaking to culture. We know the philosophy, we know that I'm not this body and everything, but this culture of remembering that this is Krishna's mercy, that Krishna has given us these things, that's important. One time, I was told early in the movement, Hayagriva Prabhu at the storefront at 26 2nd Avenue, he moved a clock with his foot, and Prabhupada told him, you shouldn't do that. You shouldn't move it with your foot. And Hayagriva, do you mean to say that this alarm clock is holier than my foot? The old hippie Allen Ginsberg Sampradaya, the body is holy. Prabhupada says, yes. This is Krishna's property. And so a cultured, and the foot is the lowest part of the body. It's not how we move things. A cultured person doesn't move things around with his feet. He uses his hands, or he leaves things where they are. But the foot is not meant for that. You imagine there's a garland of from the deities, move it with your foot. So not only the direct paraphernalia of the deities, everything is Krishna's property. So that vision we want to have, everything belongs to Krishna. And we remember that when Prabhupada was dealing with things, any simple thing, it might have been an Achman cup, or it might have been a wristwatch, or it might have been any ordinary thing, a spoon, he would move it with such consciousness. Such consciousness. This is Krishna's property. Just the way the servant of a king is always conscious that whatever I'm dealing with here, this is the king's paraphernalia, the king's property. So, and certainly prasadam, when Krishna is giving us mercy, we have to receive it as mercy and always remember that it's Krishna's mercy. So I look forward to your giving a whole course about this, Apurva Prabhu. It's among the many topics that Prabhupada's disciples will remember, and from Prabhupada's personal example, but that other devotees may not have had experience of how Prabhupada set the example on these things. So it's very good that you're bringing these things up wherever you go, actually. And we used to, I can just tell just as one item of fun. We used to have, of course, the big Sunday feast at 26 2nd Avenue. And naturally there'd be prasadam left over. Sometimes, most of the time the next day there'd be something. And so we would distribute it. At that time, there were so many bums living in that area. Now you can't find a bum within a 20-mile radius, but back then there were so many alcoholics and flop houses and so on near the Bowery. So we used to take the prasadam to them. And if it had turned a little bit, then we would say that these are rum cakes. And they used to appreciate more.
Very good. Nice. Thank you.
Thank you, Purva Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Anything else here so far?
Maharaj, I have a question about that.
Prema Sindhu Prabhu.
Yes. So sometimes some people have a different taste there because of their culture, their upbringing. Some people say this is prasadam is not to my taste because there is more salt, it is spicy, while for others it is perfectly okay. So everyone has a particular taste according to their culture, their upbringing, and they find out after they take the prasadam that they cannot eat it. So what should they do with the prasadam in that situation? And sometimes they say, well, if it's thrown, then some insects or other living entities will eat it in the garbage, and so it is okay. They will also get the mercy. So that kind of reasons are also given.
This gets into a larger topic, how prasadam should be served. There's those who have attended Bhakti Charamarj's Vaishnava etiquette course may have or would have heard him speak about this. There's a system for serving prasadam. When prasadam, because it's not, well, let me back up. There's a whole background there. There's the consciousness of the cook who's preparing the food for Krishna's pleasure. Then there's the consciousness of the pujaris, the devotees who are offering the food to Krishna. Then there's the consciousness of the servers who are distributing the prasadam, and the consciousness of those who are honoring or respecting prasadam, eating. So the servers, when prasadam should not be served negligently. Prasadam should be served with care and with culture and with affection and with some expertise. Therefore, it was the custom in the Gaudiya Math, I heard, that the sannyasis used to distribute prasadam. We sometimes give the job of distributing prasadam to the newest people, the inexperienced devotees. But actually, the prasadam properly is best served by the experienced devotees, those who are advanced in consciousness. That will be still better, partly because they'll serve with consciousness. This is Krishna prasadam. I'm reminded also, just in regard to Apurva Prabhu's points earlier, Raghunath Goswami was taking the prasadam, the old neglected grains of rice from the drain at the Jagannath Mandir. And he was washing those grains very carefully and honoring that as his prasadam. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came one time because he'd earlier been invited to feasts. Raghunath Das Goswami was getting money from his father and uncle and using it for feasts for the Vaishnavas. And then gradually that stopped, and Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to know that this is how Raghunath's eating. First he was begging, but then he gave that up. Now he's taking these neglected grains. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went there, and just to encourage him, he said, you're getting nice prasadam, and you're not inviting me. So he was snatching those grains. And the Lord, my Lord, this is not fit for you. What do you mean it's not fit? It's Jagannath prasadam. So that consciousness, that Jagannath prasadam or Krishna prasadam, is so valuable. So coming back, the servers should serve with affection and with pure consciousness. And also there's a system that when we first give prasadam, just give a little. Give a little prasadam. That's the system. Not that someone comes, you fill up a big plate with so much that the person couldn't possibly eat it. Give a little. And then you may be serving one person or you may be serving 50 people, but you're keeping an eye out. Sometimes there's one person, that's his job, just to keep an eye out and see, what are people taking? This person's immediately taken all of this sabji, or he's taking this preparation. So now give that person more. He likes that item. If one person is serving, if you're serving a small group, you can see that, or you can see who's taking what. A larger group, one person may just be doing that, seeing what's going on. So that then with affection, we see, oh, this person likes it. Take more, take more. He's giving those items. And the little bit that you weren't so enthusiastic about, it's not so hard just to take that little bit and honor that. But when we put so much of everything, then this problem comes that, what am I supposed to do? I can't handle this level of chilies or this level of whatever it may be, or I'm allergic to capsicum or potatoes, or like weights for me. But there's a big pile of it on my plate. And you give a little, and that way we avoid the whole problem. Is that okay, Prem Sindhu Prabhu?
Yes, thank you.
That system, knowing how to, Prabhupada one time, this is another Prabhupada quotation, that Prabhupada went to Fiji, and our godbrother Vasudev, late Vasudev Prabhu, was there. And he had invited Prabhupada. He come to know that Prabhupada would be coming that way. And so Prabhupada stopped in Fiji. And Vasudev Prabhu had 2 wives, according to the local culture, and both were expert cooks. Bhagavati Dasi and, anyway, both expert cooks, super expert cooks. So they wanted to cook for Prabhupada, of course. And Upendra said, you can't cook for Prabhupada because you're not initiated. And maybe you can, so I'll cook for Prabhupada. You can't cook for Prabhupada. You're not initiated. So then they were very unhappy, and they somehow brought it to Prabhupada's attention that Upendra says we can't cook. And Prabhupada immediately reinstated them. And his comment was that Indians know how to cook, they know how to serve, and they know how to eat. So the culture is there. And they knew how to serve. They may have been initiated, not initiated, but they wanted to cook out of devotion to Prabhupada, appreciation for Prabhupada, and they wanted to serve so that Prabhupada would be satisfied. That's beyond this question, initiated, not initiated. Anything else there, Prema Sindhu Prabhu? Does that cover the territory?
Yeah, and sometimes they say if you throw it in the garbage, the squirrels will come, they will eat it. So some living entities are getting benefit.
Yeah, I mean, finally, we know that not everything will be eaten. Something will be discarded. Apurva Prabhu mentioned that we used to, in older days, have a separate place where things that were sacred would be put and they'd be disposed of a little respectfully. And it's true that if you put the prasadam in the woods, then the raccoons and other creatures will come, or wherever you are, the crows, or the New York, the pigeons, somebody will come and take it. So that's finally there. But then again, we should try to do things in such a way that the wasted part will be minimal. And we should try to
Hare Krishna Maharaj, I'm not sure if you can hear us, but no one is able to hear you. Something happened with your audio.
Maharaj seems to have stepped away from his chair. Maybe something technical or... Ah, there he is.
There you go.
You were speaking, but we couldn't hear you for a second there.
Yeah, I was talking to the 911 man who, for some reason, my phone had dialed, and he was quite, what's the word, polite and solicitous. He wanted to make sure everything was okay here, and it is, except that my phone shouldn't be doing that. Okay. Then there were a couple more questions in the chat box, which let me pull up. Yeah, it's good that you lost the audio. I deliberately lost it for you. Now, the order of respect to be offered to transcendental personalities, Panchatattva, Krishna, Radharani, Jagannath, Prabhupada's given all of them. How to understand statements from devotees like, we are Gaudiyas, worshippers of Radharani, not worshippers of Krishna. Radharani will recommend us to Krishna. Okay, this is a little off topic, isn't it? The order of respect to be offered to transcendental personalities, you'll find in the Mangalacharana prayers themselves. They start with the spiritual master, and gradually we ascend. And by reading those prayers, you'll see the order, how to approach Krishna through the Guru, through the Vaishnavas, through Panchatattva and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, through Srimati Radharani, and finally to Krishna. Then we're worshippers of, I should also say, by the way, that the order of respect in terms of kirtan, where we chant the names of the deities at the end, I can't say anything about because Prabhupada did not introduce this. He did not ask us to do this. I have no clear idea of why we're doing it. And people have their own ideas about which deity should be, how the names should be chanted, what mantras we should be chanted. I hear some real super mental concoctions about it. And that's a separate seminar. The easiest thing is, in my humble opinion, simply to follow Prabhupada and chant Hare Krishna and stop. He did not have this question about which deities' names do we chant in which order, because he just didn't do it. Now, yeah, I think that's as far. And as far as Radha and Krishna, yes, Radharani will recommend us to Krishna. So we go through Radharani to Krishna, but that's a big topic and very off topic. So I'm going to not say more about that right now.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Let's see. Is the order of worship on the altar different than Vasudeva? Yeah, I'm not going to, I don't think I'm going to give this, get into the order of worship on the altar and all of this. That's, as you said, that Vasudeva Prabhu gave a home worship course. You can follow up with him. Everybody's off topic here. Everybody's off topic here. Okay, the off-topic question. So we're going to stay on topic. How's that? Oh, wait. Okay. That's okay. Off topic. It's not too much of a problem. I think we'll start this next verse, or let me first ask: is there anyone who has another question that's on topic?
I have Galaxy J3 Prime has the hand up, but I'm not sure whether their top question is on topic or Galaxy J3 Prime. Okay. Guess they're not unmuting themselves, so I guess we can continue.
Okay, we'll begin this verse. We may come back to it again. Tadaham te pitasyami maha paurushiko bhavan yasya shradhatam ashu syan mukunde mati sati. This very Srimad Bhagavatam, that same Bhagavatam, aham abhitasyami, I shall recite before you, because you're the most sincere devotee of Lord Krishna. Maha Paurushika. Yes, you're a great person, and you're the devotee of the greatest person, Krishna. That's your position. One who gives full attention and respect to hearing Srimad Bhagavatam achieves unflinching faith in the Supreme Lord, the giver of salvation. Shradhatam. Shradhatam means a person who has faith in the subject matter, or Prabhupada says, yes, unflinching, full attention and respect. That's the way to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. If not in a challenging mood, not in a speculative mood, not in some other in an offhand way, but truly respecting that this Srimad Bhagavatam is, Sanatana Goswami says, it's my friend, it's my worshipable Lord. There's a very nice verse in at the end of Brihad Bhagavatam. My everything, this Srimad Bhagavatam. So this Bhagavatam is to be worshipped. I mentioned that before, that actually in the proper culture, the Bhagavatam is first worshipped. They offer flowers and so on. Then recitation begins. It's not for our sense gratification. Those who are reciting Bhagavatam to make a living are trying to use Bhagavatam as their servant, employ the Bhagavatam in their service to meet their family expenses. That's not at all respectful. And those who are hearing Bhagavatam with the idea of hearing some sort of just for whatever reason, but not with true respect, not with true attention, are also missing the point. So here, Sukadeva Goswami is a fully realized soul, and he's ready to speak Srimad Bhagavatam as he heard it, Shrotriyam, Brahmanishtam, from his father Vyasadeva. And Parikshit Maharaj is ready to hear with rapt attention. So in that kind of exchange, in that kind of atmosphere, the potency of Srimad Bhagavatam comes out. What is that? Satam prasangat mama virya samvido bhavanti hrit karna rasayana kata taj joshanadash vapavarga vartmani shraddharatir bhaktir anukramishiti. When we hear in this way, satam prasanga, in the association of pure devotees, satam prasangat mama virya samvado, then one can understand the potency of these topics. The potency will act. I was just reading something. Jiva Goswami was commenting on a verse in this section, and he was saying that everyone will benefit from hearing and chanting and remembering the Lord, but according to what their purpose is. Those who are hearing, hoping for some material benefit, will get some material benefit. Those who are hoping for liberation may get liberation. And those who are seeking pure devotional service will get devotional service. So this Shukadev Goswami is eager to speak to Maharaj Parikshit because he's a pure devotee. As Krishna was speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Bhaktosi me sakha cheti. Yateham priyamanaya vakshami hitakamyaya. Because you're very dear to me, I'll speak to you these topics. So the Bhagavatam is meant to be spoken by devotees and to be heard by devotees. And then so much will be revealed. Everything will be revealed. I'll stop here. If there's another, for those who wish to increase, what measures should one take if we want to increase reverence for and eagerness to hear? Well, first measure is to hear it regularly. What is that? Oh, come on. By regular attendance in the Bhagavatam class and rendering service to the devotees. What is that? Syan Mahat Sevaya Viprat Punyatirtha Nishevana. What's the beginning? Shushrusha. Same word. Same idea at least. Shushrusha Shradhanasya. There's the same word. Those who we should hear with submissiveness and with faith from pure devotees. Vasudeva Kata Ruchi. And that was already there. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Nashta Prayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. So to increase our reverence and eagerness, we should hear the Bhagavatam in the association of others who are also similarly enthusiastic. And we should have a mood of service. We should serve pure devotees. We should give full attention to Bhagavatam. And that, the more we do that, the more we will do that. The more we hear with attention, the more we'll want to hear with attention. These things are some of the thoughts. The nityam, to regularly hear. Prem Sindhu Prabhu has pasted in rapt attention. One should hear with rapt attention from the real person, and then he can at once realize the presence of Lord Krishna in every page. The secret of knowing Bhagavatam is mentioned here. No one can give rapt attention who is not pure in mind. No one can be pure in mind who is not pure in action. No one pure in action who is not pure in eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. But somehow or other, if someone hears with rapt attention from the right person, at the very beginning, one can assuredly see Lord Sri Krishna in person in the pages of Bhagavatam. 1344 purport. Thank you. So much there's so many glorifications of Srimad Bhagavatam by the pure devotees who are appreciating how much nectar there is. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu while describing the Atmarama verse, he described it to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, and later Sanatana Goswami said, I heard that you described this in so many ways, 64 different ways, to Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Could you explain it again? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did. He explained it. And then after explaining it, he said, oh, by your association, I just thought of another meaning. And then he explained that meaning and said that actually Bhagavatam is unlimited, because every word and every syllable is not different from Krishna himself. So there's unlimited depth, unlimited value, unlimited truth in the words of Srimad Bhagavatam. And I'll stop here so that we stay on schedule. Thank you all very much.
Thank you very much, Maharaj. And thank you all for attending this evening's session. So this weekend is New York Rath Yatra weekend. So it's a very easy way to connect tomorrow. Everything is going to be streamed on Facebook. So it's very simple. It's fb.me, which is facebook.me/ISKCON NYC. So I'm going to copy this address and put it in the chat box so everyone can look at it. You can copy it as well. So tomorrow.
Chat box is not.
Sorry, what was that? You had a question?
Hello.
Yes, sorry about that. So it's on the chat box. It's FB, which is facebook.me/ISKCON NYC. It's a very small little link that you can just copy and paste. The festivities will be broadcast live, and they'll start tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and they'll go on all the way till 9 p.m. The parade, Lord Jagannath on the streets of New York City, that's going to happen is going to be at 2 p.m. So please join for that. And there is all sorts of wonderful kirtans and classes. At 12 noon, the Lord will be received at the temple. And then there'll be kirtan starting at 1 o'clock as well. And at 4 o'clock, His Holiness Giriraj Swami will be doing a talk on Rath Yatra. And then at 6 p.m., okay, so 5 p.m. is Toshan Krishna Prabhu, and 6 p.m. Malati Mataji. So, and of course, 7 p.m., His Holiness Radhanath Swami will be talking on Lord Chaitanya's pastime. So all sorts of nectar tomorrow on this one channel, starting at 9 a.m. So whenever you can join, we very much appreciate it. I think you will like it. So that is on Saturday. And on Sunday evening, we have an exceptional speaker. We have two speakers who will be speaking on Sunday evening at 6 p.m. Mitrasena Prabhu and his wife Maharha Mataji, and they'll be talking about adventures in preaching in the South. So please do join this channel at Saturday at 6 p.m. And then we'll continue this second canto lecture series starting Monday. Again, Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 8 p.m. on the same channel. So looking forward to seeing you, and we're looking forward to hearing more of nectar from Maharaj. So thank you very much, Maharaj, again, and we hope
Thank you so much.
That you and all the devotees who've gathered here have a wonderful weekend, and we look forward to seeing you soon. So if you like, you can think if Nilmani Prabhu is here, I'd like to request him to also address the crowd and encourage the devotees to come.
Oh, thank you, Maharaj. Thank you again for a nice class, and thank you all the devotees for attending our daily Sangha program. Please also attend the remote Rath Yatra participation tomorrow, and the various classes being offered by Brooklyn Temple tomorrow. And please join us again on Sunday for Mitrasen Prabhu and Mara Mataji. So thank you all so much for joining. Hare Krishna.
Now, do you want to say anything about Lord Jagannath here in Towaco? I'm sorry, about Gornitai here in Towaco? I guess you sent out a message already.
Yes, so we will be opening the temple for darshan, still in a limited way, not this weekend. This weekend we're just going to take the time to just plan some logistics and orchestrate the event. We're still going to be very cautious and limit the number of people that go in the temple room. And we're exploring different ways to have a program, even possibly doing something outside, weather permitting, and so forth. So we'll provide more details next week. But this Sunday, we'll be having a mini program. We'll have some kirtan in the backyard. We're planning to bring small Gauranitai deities out to be with us during the kirtan time. So anyone who can, you're welcome to come for that during 3:30 and 4:30 time frame. Thank you again all for joining, and please do join us, keep joining us every day. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Maharaj. Hare Bol.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Jai
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you for the wonderful class.
Yeah, maybe once we start talking.
Jai.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare
Krishna Maharaj.
Anyone can talk. And then
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Jai, there you go.
It was wonderful.
Jai.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Bol.
Good.
Thank you, Maharaj. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
We finally got to realize it's
Wonderful to see you again.
like who we're talking.